Right, I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to start this webinar. And the title of this webinar is Create Your Life with Grace and Ease. So let me get those slides up here. Here we go. Okay, so welcome everyone. Today's webinar is called Create Your Life with Grace and Ease. And what we're going to be talking about is the middle rays, the rays 4 through 7, and a little bit of 8. So let's jump right into it. So here's our agenda for today. I'm going to start off with a quick overview of the rays. And then we refer to these rays 4 through 7, as the rays of experience. And as I said, there's going to be a little bit of ray 8 because generally when we use ray 7, we use ray 8 with it. And then we're going to talk about what's next after this webinar, so what you have to look forward to. And then there's going to be a special announcement about a new book that you may have heard about. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. Okay. Whoop. Let's go back. Okay, let's start out with the 12 rays. So hopefully you're familiar with the 12 rays, and you've heard me talk about them. They are divided into 3 different groups: the rays of aspect, the rays of attributes, and the rays of soul integration. And interestingly enough, for those of you who are mathematically inclined, that's a 3-4-5 ratio. So there's 3 rays of aspect, there's 4 rays of attributes, and there's 5 rays of soul integration. Now, what I want to point out about this middle group, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which we're going to talk about today, they're called the rays of attributes, but they're also called the rays of experience. But they are sub-rays, as you can see from this chart, of the 3rd ray. And if you remember, the 3rd ray is called active intelligence. So let's move right along. So the rays of experience, also known as the rays of attributes, are 4. The first one's called harmony through conflict, and it's a beautiful green color. The 5th ray is called concrete knowledge, and it's an orange color. The 6th ray is called devotion and idealism, and it's more of an indigo blue than what I'm showing here. It's a little bit deeper blue than that. And the 7th ray is the gateway into awareness, and it's a violet color. So starting with the 4th ray, harmony through conflict, we use the 4th ray to resolve conflict to create harmony, and I'm going to talk about more about each one of these in depth. So we resolve conflict to create harmony. The 5th ray is concrete knowledge, and as we'll find out, that it's really about scientific type knowledge, and but it's very, very beneficial for individuals who are too involved with their emotions. It helps balance those type of individuals. So it's very, very good for that. Devotion and idealism. All of us have causes that we believe in. All of us have beliefs about the way we'd like to see things. That's called idealism, I guess. And the issue with that energy is the energy of the 6th ray is it's a heavy energy, and it can be overpowering. So what we want to do is make sure that we balance that. So we create balance with that. And then the 7th ray, we refer to the 7th ray as the gateway into awareness. You may have heard of it referred to in the past as the violet flame of Saint Germain. And we're going to talk about both of those aspects of it. But the team says that we use the 7th ray to transmute the weightiness of past experience. And we'll get into what that means too. Okay. So the first thing let's start with the 4th ray. The first thing I'd like to point out is you see some artwork here. And this artwork is original artwork that is done by Melinda Radcliffe. And she's a very gifted, intuitive artist. And this artwork is on my website. It's on my author's website, which is michaelglove.com. And it's also combined with music, original music that has been created by Richard Schulman. So it's a great way to connect with the energy and to see where it takes you. Okay, now let me read to you a quote from the team about harmony through conflict. There is no way to avoid conflict as a human in your environment unless you place yourself in a comatose state. If you were to go and sit on a mountain, you could not escape conflict, for your mind would begin to wander to the valley below. So that's a pretty interesting and insightful statement. So since there's no way to avoid conflict, my suggestion is that we perhaps need to have a little different understanding of exactly what conflict is. And conflict presents us, in my opinion, with experiences that provide us learning opportunities. And the learning opportunities are there to benefit our personal growth. So the team suggests that artistic individuals, anyone who is expressing anyone who is seeking self-expression through what they create, have a lot of this fourth ray energy. So think of actors and artists, writers and musicians, dancers and poets, designers and photographers. You kind of get the picture, artsy people. But actually, when I think about this, aren't we all involved in self-expression? You think about our personal relationship. We're constantly expressing who we are in our relationships. We express who we are in our clothing. We express who we are in the words that we use. So when you think about relationships, they're often very emotional, and sometimes they turn into conflicts. And I bet you've had that experience. I know I have. And conflicts are almost always emotional. But here's the thing. Do you think of these conflicts as personal growth opportunities? Maybe it's time that we start doing that. We use the fourth ray to help us express our inner conflicts. And when we actually go deeper into this, into the fourth ray, we understand that we live in a world of duality, and very often we are experiencing one side of it or the other, like light and day, hot and cold, harmony, conflict. So very often we're experiencing one side of it, and that when we get a balance of experience, when we experience actually both polarities, then we can use this ray to create synthesis so that we have a deeper understanding. And that's where the real personal growth comes in. So let's move on to the fifth ray. The fifth ray is called concrete knowledge. As I mentioned earlier, it's more or less scientific knowledge. So here's another quote from the team. The great scientists on your planet hold a great deal of this energy. The great concepts for your planet flow through this energy. Pretty interesting. Individuals in this energy are able to conceptualize. They are able to synthesize. They are able to take apart a concept and put it back together and see the purposeful meaning as it pertains to life on Earth. Now, this is very important because these four rays that we're talking about, I refer to them as the rays of experience. Therefore, our experience here on this planet. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So going back to this, what the team has given us, I don't think many of us are great scientists. I know I'm not. So what's the practical use for this energy? And as I alluded to a little bit earlier, this energy is quite beneficial, according to the team, for those that are earthbound in their energies. It can be used quite effectively to balance and lift them when planted too firmly. Now, what does planted too firmly mean? Planted too firmly means they're all in their emotions. So as you can see, you know, this kind of, there's always this balance between logical and emotional. And so for the people that are just way too emotional, you can use this fifth ray to bring them some balance and to get them back into center. Now, it should be clear also that, you know, the fourth ray is really called the emotional ray, although I didn't mention it, but it is. It's called the emotional ray. But so the people that are too stuck in their heads can use the fourth ray to create balance the same way that we're talking about right here. I hope that makes sense to you. So we're going to move on now to the sixth ray, and sixth ray is devotion and idealism, and boy, there's a lot of this on the planet right now. So again, a quote from the team: the sixth ray has a very precise focus in its energy, and people that carry a lot of this energy tend to be obsessive. You know anybody who's obsessive right now? It has addictive qualities in regards to religion. It can create an energy of zealous belief, and it can be used to put things on automatic. So what does that mean, put things on automatic? It means that you don't really question anymore. You just, this is the dogma and this is what we're going with, and we don't question it. Know anybody like that? Okay. So the one thing we want to make sure about this energy is that we don't overdo it, because the team says this is a very heavy energy in our environment, and I hope you can see that picture there. It's a very, very lovely picture and you can see that it's really an indigo blue color. So what we want to do is we want to take this energy and we want to make it lighter by focusing on it with our intention, and we want to, by doing that, we create balance. Okay, so, and then there's another use of this ray that the team points out, and they say, yet used by raising it up in a lighter, less addictive vibration, it can help focus your intentions and your goals, your objectives. And this is very, very beneficial, because so many of us actually don't take time to create goals and objectives. And when we do, it's easy for us to lose focus on them. So using the sixth ray can help us with that clarity and help us with holding that focus. Moving on to the seventh ray. The seventh ray is referred to by the team as the gateway into awareness. Now, some of you may have heard of this referred to as the violet flame of Saint Germain. It is the same energy. So let's start out with the gateway into awareness. Another quote from the team: the seventh ray is a violet energy that we call gateway into awareness. It is the energy that is used to dissolve the weightiness of past experience, and that's the key. Dissolve the weightiness of past experience and transmute that energy up to a higher vibration so that you might advance in your evolution of spirit. And that's how it's a gateway. So by allowing you to raise up your vibration, it's opening you up to different perspectives that you normally wouldn't have if you were still down at a lower energetic vibration. So we use the seventh ray, and hopefully you can see this, it's a real dark, it's violet, to transmute past experience and integrate it into our life. And as we do that, it opens us up to new perspective. So what's past experience? It's all past experience. Anything that you've experienced that you're not experiencing currently right now is all past experience. And some of it you have processed, and some of it you have integrated, and some of it you haven't, and some of it you're still holding on to. We all do that. We all hold on to energy, and the problem is we hold on to it in our bodies, and it can be disruptive to the normal function of our bodies, but that's a whole nother topic altogether. So we use the seventh ray to help us transmute, because energy is never destroyed. It's transmuted into a higher level so that we ourselves can advance to a higher level of vibration. So, as I said, the seventh ray is also referred to as the violet flame of Saint Germain. They're doing some construction next door. I hope you don't hear that too loudly. And if you're not familiar with Saint Germain is generally referred to as an ascended master. And there's been a lot written about the violet flame of Saint Germain. Now, according to the team, you may picture this in meditation as a violet flame and move it down through your denser energies, through your chakras, raising them up and opening them to a grander, greater expression of what you know yourself to be. So this is more of a traditional approach to using the violet flame, moving it down through your chakras, if that resonates with you, and allowing the energy of the seventh ray to transmute the dense energy in the chakras and opening them up to a lighter energy. Now, here's where the eighth ray comes in. We generally always use the eighth ray with the seventh ray. So the eighth ray is a cleansing ray. And what does that mean? Well, first of all, the eighth ray is a violet and green energy. And it's one of the new rays. And we use this ray in conjunction with the seventh ray, as I said. It replenishes and balances our energy centers. So you want to bring it through the same path that you just followed. And it will help you balance and energize those centers, those chakras. Now, here's another way to use the eighth ray. And again, a quote from the team. You may also use this to bring inner clarity through your third eye. So your third eye is your brow chakra. And you do this by imagining a ray of light, a tunnel of light coming in through the third eye. And it's a tunnel of light, so whatever color, white or whatever color comes to you. And you move yourself through the tunnel and you look beyond, you look out beyond that. And that will bring you some inner clarity, some clarity. So that is a very quick run through of the rays of experience. Now, what's next? Okay, so what's next is the rays of soul integration. So these are rays 9 through 12, actually 8 through 12. And let me just give you a quick rundown of what these energies are about. And these are new, and they've only become available since like the 1980s. And we use the first couple rays to connect with our higher self and to provide us with a mechanism to bring more of ourselves, our higher selves, into our physical bodies. So specifically, we use the ninth ray to connect to our soul level consciousness. That's our higher self. And then we use the 10th ray to begin to anchor in the body of light into our physical body. And the body of light is a particular embodiment of our consciousness that we use when we leave this physical dimension. So the good news is that we can begin to anchor that into our physical body while we're still here. Very exciting. Now, we talk about rays 11 and 12, and they are all about this new awareness. So what is the new awareness? Well, that's a very good question. I think it's probably different for everybody what the new awareness is. But what I can tell you for sure is that we're in the middle of it right now. And man, things are changing and things are moving quickly. So there will be another webinar about that. And I don't know when that'll be, but it won't be anytime soon. It'll probably be, in several months. But look forward to that when we'll go over all of this information about the new rays. Now, here's that big announcement that I had that I was talking about. So I have just released a new book, Create Your Life with Grace and Ease, and here it is. Yay! Got to get it lined up right there. Create Your Life with Grace and Ease. And this book is all about the rays of experience. And everything that we just talked about, including all of the practical uses for the rays, is in this book. And as I said, it contains practical guided journeys to help you create balance, harmony, and opportunity. And with each of the guided rays that's available in the book, there's a free audio file on my website, on the 12rays.com website. So The guided journeys are ways for you to work with the energy of the ray for a specific purpose. And that's all outlined in the book. And if you want to read it through, the text is in the book, but if you want to actually work with it, you don't want to have to try to remember it in your head. So you can either read it out yourself into a recording device, or you can go to the website and just listen to me read through it for you. Now, the good news is the ebook of this Create Your Life with Grace and Ease is specially priced on Amazon for a short time for the fantastic price of $2.95. And I want to show you this book. It's the first all-color book that I've done. So obviously the cover is full color, but you see inside, those paintings that I was showing you are also in here and on double pages. They're spread out over double pages. And each one of those paintings is spread out here over double pages. And there's more color involved in it also. So you get we've got color all over the place. So it's a very pretty book if you like color. I like color. But you can also, if you want to buy the print version, you can also buy it at Amazon, but it's a little bit more expensive than $2.95 because it costs a lot more to print full color than it does just black and white. So I hope you think about getting this book and actually working with these rays. This is where the rubber meets the road. These are the rays of experience. And if you want to benefit from the rays, then these are all practical applications for you to benefit from. So here are all of the books and actually all the material that I have produced so far about the 12 rays. I started this journey with the reality of your greatness, and the subtitle is A Personal Journey Through the 12 Rays, and that talks about meeting the team 15 years ago and working with them, and then about how they all of a sudden started teaching us about the rays. And so this new book, Create Your Life with Grace and Ease, is a workbook. And the very first workbook that I wrote was called The 12 Rays, Practical Applications. And these deal with the first 3 rays, which I call the foundational level. They're actually the rays of aspect. I also refer to them as our divine heritage. So all of that discussion is in that 12 rays book. And there's practical applications in that. And again, all of those guided journeys are on my website too for free. And last but not least is the music of the 12 rays that has been created by Richard Schulman. I don't know if you're familiar with Richard's work, but he's a very gifted musician. He's been playing New Age music for probably 30 years. He also plays a lot of jazz, and that's really good music too. But you see it's a double CD set because there's 12 tracks on it. So we have one dedicated track for each one of the rays. That's very, very powerful. So thank you for taking, before I say thank you, well, first of all, thank you. But before I do that, what I want to talk to you about a little bit is not so much what's next within the 12 rays, but what we're going to be doing next. And I mentioned that we have been working with the team for the last 15 years, and we have gotten a lot of information above and beyond the 12 rays. And when we first started working with the team, they used to tell us, and this was 15 years ago, they used to tell us, you are God, let your light shine. And man, did that scare the bejeebers out of us. It's very, very difficult to own. 15 years ago, it was very, very difficult to own the concept that as children of the Creator, as children of God, that makes us gods in the becoming, gods in training. I don't know where you sit on that issue. It was difficult for us to contemplate, and I appreciate that if it doesn't sit right with you right now, and I'm not pushing that. However, what I am saying, and I've said it all along, is that you're more than you think you are. And so if you're not ready to embrace the fact that you are God, just embrace the fact that you are more. And we'll start working towards that realization as we go. So that's what you're going to see from us coming in the near future, is more information about you are more than you think you are, and how to really get down into that and realize that and make it a difference in your life. So thanks for watching this video. And I want to just leave you with my contact information. It's pretty simple to remember. My website, my author's website, is michaelglove.com. And that's where I have information about all the books and about all of the webinars that I do. Now, on the second website, youaremore.com, that's where I will be posting, have posted, but we'll post a lot more blogs about the issues that have to do with how we realize that we are more than what anybody has ever tried to convince us that we are. I'm going to try to convince you that you're more than what you think you are. And because I know that no matter what you think you are, you're more than that. And just to kind of keep the thing going, on Facebook, I have a couple of different pages. I have all the information about the rays that I release is on my Facebook page, 12 Rays, 12RAYS. The information that I release about You Are More, that we're going to be moving forward with next, is on a page called You Are More. And one of the things that the team has recently gotten us involved in is sacred geometry and platonic solids. So I have a page called Metatron's Cube. So if you have any interest at all in sacred geometry or the platonic solids, take a look at that page, Metatron's Cube, like it, and I keep posting pictures and updates about what we're doing that has to do with that. And that's really very, very current stuff that we're working with the team on. So again, thank you for being part of this. I really do appreciate it. And I hope this has been of value to you. And I hope to be talking to you very soon. Thanks very much. Feel free to leave comments below. I look at this all the time and I will respond. Thanks. So I'm going to stop the share and we're going to end the video. Bye-bye.